The deadly North Carolina train stabbing of a Ukrainian refugee is now being investigated by the FBI. And is the judge to blame for letting the suspect, a 14-time offender, out on the streets? On August 22nd, 23-year-old Irana Zarutska boarded a train in Charlotte and sat down in front of Decarlos Brown Jr. Moments later, surveillance footage captured a horrifying scene. Brown seemingly repeatedly stabbed Zarutska and left her to die. Police say she was pronounced dead at the scene. On Monday, FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X saying the agency has been, quote, investigating the Charlotte train murder from day one. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy also spoke out, announcing that the U.S. Department of Transportation is launching its own investigation, specifically into how the Charlotte transit system failed to keep Zarutska safe. The White House also weighed in, calling it a failure of the justice system.
The most enraging and unacceptable part of this story is that her death was entirely preventable. Decarlos Brown never should have been on that train that night. In fact, he should have been behind bars.
They cited Brown's long history of violent offenses, at least 14 arrests over more than a decade, including charges like armed robbery and assault. They blamed the, quote, Democratic judge who released him back on the streets following his most recent arrest in January, free to slaughter an innocent woman just months later. He was released without bond and signed a written promise to appear in court. Court records reviewed by the New York Post showed Brown's arrests resulted in charges including felony, larceny, armed robbery, breaking, assault, and making threats. Our sister station, WSOC TV, spoke to Brown's mother, who said she got an involuntary commitment order from the courts, and her son was later diagnosed with schizophrenia while under psychiatric evaluation. With a criminal past and evidence of mental illness, who is the judge who allowed Brown back on the streets? People on X are doing a deep dive into her past, and this is what they found. According to one user, Magistrate Judge Teresa Stokes is not even admitted to the state bar. North Carolina is one of 5 states in the U.S. that allows non-lawyers to serve in that role. Laura Loomer shared a TV interview of Stokes from 2021 that provided an insight into her background before serving as a judge. Stokes and her wife Anya are originally from Michigan and opened a sober sports bar to give recovering addicts a safe space to hang out in. That is now permanently closed. Stokes even said she lost her brother and nephew to drug addiction. Stokes and her wife also own Pinnacle Recovery Services, a nonprofit housing program in Michigan. Journalist Sloan Rackmuth posted multiple images showing Stokes has multiple liens and bankruptcies. On Tuesday, North Carolina Representative Tim Moore announced leading a letter calling for the removal of Stokes from office.